This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
It is our share the AC in the na. It is Kufuor is using Kufuor's playbook. I got 6 months, no free power. Into the probability say Ato Forson, how many judge will come together and jail him? No, it is 90%. Now, watch the video, no, and you have followed events. Majority of you watching me, they don't even know why and how and what actually made Tsatsu end up in jail. So what case you could see said there was no case. But the president then, Kufuor, the attorney generals then, Kufuor and Jogate, and then this judge, Henrietta Aban, this woman, they made sure that Tsatsu will be jailed. It did not matter. They decided to go against the laws of the land. The legal system, they ignored it. They made sure that their party's their ambition was fulfilled. Remember, naka 6 months, na Kufuor every abaimu. Jogate, and the Tsatsu go jina court, catch the Ghana for say, Tsatsu has caused financial loss to the state. Abrana Jogate or say oye lawyer, penyini. Onim say when there's an application pending at the Supreme Court and also at the High Court, Appeals Court, you cannot even call for judgment. Jogate never had a problem. Kufuor didn't have a problem. And you could see from J.A. Kufuor, that was the plan they wanted to execute, and they executed it. Now, before I go on, I want to remind Jogate that we were here when Jogate led Ghanaians, said $2 million. Omudi BBF Feno Sky Train project eba seen that the $2 million is gone. Jogate was the transport minister. Okacha said COVID-19 forced him, who was the head of the transport ministry. Real and was the minister of what? His rail and transport, right? He was saying, say, COVID-19 forced him to abandon SkyTrain project. To date, Jogate has not accounted for the $2 million. Jogate needs to understand. Sa abana or the ball Tsatsu Tsikata. I'm a person who repeated the same thing in there. The same aba obibi. I'm just reminding him of this and other things. Where there is just a reminder to Jogate, because right now, no, causing financial loss to the state is the new word, and because of what Kufuor did, the Kufuor do siaye Jogate omobu Kufuor do emani jaîlêd Tsatsu no, and no the same thing and omo she echire omo ye no ende iti yebeka ende case e court no na afi odi atoto eye Kufuor ene Kufuor do time ho, you will see clearly say the NPP agenda no say net here. Anytime I catch NDC for said the father for all nonsense, no, they need to cut it short. They need to stop it. It needs to get out of their head. They need to reciprocate. They need to give back the same gesture. You are not committing a crime. You are not committing a sin. You are applying the law. When you get the opportunity, these are things we need to do. Because you see, the people you are dealing with as NPP, you know, that is what they deliberately do. But you have to use the law. You see, dear, oh yeah, I hear my dear no, on tafrensa. So at least munim say Emrano woho. So Jogate so the time do, and other people who are 7 and they Kufuor, anytime they can decide not to change power next 6 months. I don't care. But anytime power changes, the same about the techino or see a shesa aba no one edible bar. I was just reminding Jogate. Now, Moma yambra asama eda Ato Forson so. Edian case inti ena ende Ato Forson ewo court. Mr. P, are we good? And there's one thing my team, they are telling me to tell you. They have always used the High Court and they have always used female judges. Playbook is the same. The NPP, Kufuor, Kufuor, Jogate, jaîlêd Tsatsu Tsikata, they always use the High Court and they always use a female judge. This is the judge they used Kufuor time to jail Tsatsu Tsikata. This judge na onim said the oyen and yet she knew it. Because after she going through the doc, now then or judge will be on a day on one case on country will be also be reading judgment. They always use women. They be able to use a ma judges. And that is the blueprint of the NPP. Today, we are in court again. Mr. Get me the picture of Judge Sewa. This Ato Forson case, they are saying it is 2.3 million euros. The Jogate case, the SkyTrain, it is $2 million. The Jogate case, SkyTrain case, I make a choice to see I say $2 million. Ever seen there, ye accounted for no. And the Ato Forson na sama ye cano a 2.3 million euros, the same level. At least Ato Forson ambulance in the ego. Omom the ambulance in the bar and say Omo Joma de. Jogate de ye who train no. Omo Jisikan ye nimomo. So I want you to understand the NPP, what they have done and what they intend to do, because aka exactly 6 months and it is part of their party's constitution. So aka 6 months dia also jaîlêd NDC senior official nom their campaign. And it's Godfrey Dame Kufuor, the judge, as we speak today, that case a walk court in the make a will say a idea Kufuor are planning. They don't care about anything. They are basically doing what Kufuor did because party a idea omoye. Now, Yamra end the case so end the lesson class in the end no yanye bibia credit we nko there, it's fine. Tsatsu Tsikata's case was just 230,000 Ghana. 230,000 those times. And they account over $2 million. You got it, SkyTrain, but we'll get there. Now, Yambra and the courts in Ghana. A year tape, you see Ato Forson, na or deputy finance minister, T. You see MPP for us have a power bill. Kufuor na or Attorney General Kufuor na or mudi jaîlêd Tsatsu Tsikata no. And the omaba power. Aka 6 months no mako out of power. Almost say Ato Forson na bokro no. It also mu jaîlêd Ato Forson aka 6 months. Now and they could pay court. Audio bina a free court by na your boy time na jakpa ye to na no. And they say a judge say wa besides give me her picture. I have forgotten. Yeah, okay, thank you. I have it now. Judge netina se no ansa na omobeto to japa anono ende e court no. Judge ne say eye sa audio na e ba abontene no. Why instruct national security say omo hwehwe mu no mo hwe nipa or recording wo court wo na mo fa nipa ne mre no. Ye ne record here because chenye nkwan e boy. Inti say a judge say wa say on tiase say obitumi ba ne court. Ebe recorded ye. Into what tape no or record ye no. The judge has instructed the national security. Says I jakpa last 2 weeks was last week. The interrogation and I said cross-examination. Na no asem na ye bebo abonte the judge ni say or national security say omo nkwachi nipa oba court wa or yes I recorded no. Inti eno na medi nkan ka cho judge ne di nkan amane de the ruling ewo sa asem no so. All right. Now momembra substantive issue no so adekudie nti aye wo court. Adenti ena Ghana ban ene Ato Forson ene Richard Jakpa ɛwɔ court ma member the tofa na menwudwe mu on this side adekudenti ɛwɔ court nyane sɛ ɛyɛ Godfrey Damia ɔyɛ Kufuor Attorney General sɛ ɔmahwehwɛ nkrataa bɛmu sɛ Ato Forson imbra na NDC wɔ power no NDC aban ekra ambulance bɛyɛ 30 ɛde ba Ghana na saa ambulance na ɔmokra bɛyɛ 30 ba Ghana no krataa bi a sɛbio aban mu nipa ɛsan ya ɛmɛ de tua ɛyɛ company na ɔmo yɛ ambulance no ka no a yɛfrɛ the letter of credit a wotumi de kɔ bank ɛkɔkɔgye usika no Attorney General Godfrey Dame sɛ ɛyɛ Ato Forson na ne nsa hyɛ aseɛ na saa sika a yɛde tɔ ambulance no nyinaa na ɛyɛ 2.3 million euros ambulance no yɛtɔ fi ɛyɛ deɛ Big C for hɔ ɛyɛ company no saa ambulance no wɔ Ghana ɛda mo si Ghana from time a MPP ba power yɛn use yɛ ɛprɔ it's the Parliament House Nana Danko Kufuor Attorney General ɛyɛ Godfrey Dame sɛ ɛyɛ Ato Forson saa time a na Ghana ban ɛne ɛyɛ Big C for no sign saa contract sɛ ɔmo nkɔyɛ ambulance mbrɛ no na Ato Forson ɛna ɛyɛ Deputy Finance Minister saa time no nipa na ɔyɛ Finance Minister no ɛyɛ Setekwe now Jakpa saa Mr. Richard Jakpa ya ne din abemu no na ɔyɛ ɛdeɛn an agent for ɛdeɛn Big C because Big C na ɛyɛ abrochire company ɔmo hia a middleman here who will do what make sure say ɔmo ɛbɛnya contracts Inti Attorney General Godfrey Dame say, even though Ghana buying any Big C company and a sign our contract, no, nipa na oyom representative waha, sebio enya Ghana buying a sign contract no mum and Big C no, or say sa nipa no mum so or besa or chisa nipa no. Inti ena meno ka say Godfrey Dame say yenchi Jakpa any Attorney General any Ato Forson. Sata no ye Deputy Finance Minister enkoto ede efiase. Adentra o say Oma Bogana from Oma Bogana Chrono no a Attorney General Jinaso no any dien. Chrono no say or say time na Ato Forson Deputy Finance Minister na o she Setekwe no. Ato Forson de nsa share krata na say. Enti time na o court no na dien Ato Forson ka say in fact dwuma dia be die no menka say nyam na me yeye me nsa hya ase efri say me boss a na o ho no na de o hye me tupa ono na o ka kire me say he told me to take that step so my boss is still alive you can bring him in if he denies say enye ono na ka say me sign that document na or didn't seal so na then I can say I did it willingly but as far as obi na ma instruction munyina munim say sa nipa da ho te ase Setekwe no bring Setekwe to court na ombeka wa ha say enya me na me ye ya so on na ma instruction na so na ma instruction say ye be hu say me na me de me pay ye ya you have the right to say my Ghana krono Yakofa Setekwe eba court they brought him to court in a witness box the Attorney General who is saying Ato Forson has caused financial loss to the state Ato Forson says I did not act on my own will it was my boss who instructed me no the boss who is Setekwe Nana Oye Finance Minister and came into court. Emma Attorney General Busan say Setekwe eyawo ena wo instruct Ato Forson say on sign krata we ena Setekwe say ane in fact secretary no kra wo sign keka eno nkyere say sebio Finance Minister betu sika na e wo say me sama wo instruction ma wo de some special seal menko amene nipa medisi so and sana Finance Minister be recognize krata no in time was sign no me sama no ho kwan emma ne de die eye special seal e kire say if Finance Minister esa de secret no so eno enema Finance Minister emma ne ho kwan emma nkofo no clear check no inti sa wo po obi abɔ no so bo a eye me if say me ma ma ne sa kwan na ma ma ne sa seal na Ato Forson ka ontumi fa de eye ne nsa enhya ase inti judge say wa at court ni nitia na so ate wate nsɛm we nyinaa ɛna Attorney General say wate sɛ Setekwe baba bɛka kyerɛ Ghana fo nyinaa ne court ne saa judge Madam Sewa in front of this judge ɛna ɛyɛ de Setekwe ka say ɛyɛ me ɛna me man instructions Madam Judge oti hai the Chief Justice can give you instructions to perform a duty. When you perform the duty and the problem comes, you can use the Chief Justice as your reference because as a High Court judge, You cannot just get up and come sit in court. It was the Chief Justice who did what? Appointed you to come sit on this case. So if somebody attacks you, the person is indirectly attacking the Chief Justice. So as a judge who is intelligent and knowledgeable enough and rational enough, no, she has to know, say take about the judge to say or no and the master instructions now. I believe the judge should say as seminal and ho. Anka judge ni beka kire attorney general say and the file case never against this tekpe. If we say nipa na who are targeting no is the wrong target. The person who said he committed that supposed crime, no, he's here saying I did it. So why don't you go and do what? Reconsider your case and file a new one, because at the end of the day, they were all government officials. The guy said Tekwe is not dead. The money we are trying to get from Ato Forson, we can get the same money from Tekwe. But as usual, this judge, we hold her in high esteem. She's sitting there for justice to prevail, no? She did not say anything. Even though, till date, the judge knows Ato Forson did not take the decision by Onwankasa will. He was instructed by Setekwe. From Setekwe Ankasa Enumasem. We are not being emotional here. We are not targeting people. We are speaking the bare facts. When you now see, still judge and say, still as someone in Koso. And until they will post the problem in this case is the judge. It is a Kufuor and Tsatsu Tsikata case, the problem in the case was the judge. Because a judge now man hokwanya Jogate na attorney general, he couldn't have jailed Tsatsu Tsikata. Never. But because the judge decided to connive with Kufuor and Jogate, that is how she was able to jail Tsatsu Tsikata, even though she knew she was doing the wrong thing. Today, what we are seeing today, say judge no man hokwanya and no end to me amasa judge we a jail Ato Forson. So who is the problem? The problem is not the attorney general, because the attorney general at the end of the day or when the case judge unless it's a judge is working with the attorney general behind the scenes to make sure say Ato Forson is jailed. The same replica and you in 2008 J.A. Kufuor time. Now yanko enim. So say take about court. Say take about abechichirim. So me man instructions. Seal no. So when your finance minister boss I want to me ma. Me nam sadi seal no kan ho. E man ye. Judge ni says still attorney general case. That day said Tekpe Echo Court the case should have ended. Say judge we, without due respect, if she was going to be transparent, just and truthful, that day the judge should have told attorney general to refile his case and target said Tekpe. But the judge said no. The attorney general still has a case. What is the attorney general looking for? Attorney general is chasing the person who committed a crime. The man who was in charge said, I did it. I gave the instructions. Why is the attorney general still going after Ato Forson? It is deliberate. It is part of the NPP plan. Debiano, when they are leaving power, they need to use the law against someone. And they always get a woman judge to do that job for them. Now, young queen, inti judge Sawada Hutia Kunyum, and I said, take a buyer and Okoye, said Tekwe. So after Setekwe left, and I feel better the third accused, Richard Jakpa, Babon Tinebeka say, case ni kosi ni nyina Attorney General Godfrey Damia Oye Ghana a buying lawyer penyini any needing come behind the scenes. One, Setekwe Krampa Baba because or no ma Ato Forson instructions. Emma wo judge no what you still said you've not heard it. And no Krampo was supposed to end the case. The judge said case should still go on. And secondly, an accused person about Bontine with an audio to tell the same judge say, the attorney general with him, he has been talking to me. It does not matter whether I approached him first or he approached me, but as the attorney general of the Republic of Ghana, he knows the ethics of his job. Say, he knows the lines of his job. It could be that I'm desperate, but what about him? Doesn't he know that the law does not allow him to have a communication with me? This judge, Madam Sewa, at the end of the day, received an audio recording between the third accused and Godfrey Dame, who is the Attorney General. This woman went home and came back to court. And in that audio, the Attorney General was talking to the accused person he was prosecuting and telling the accused person to go and get fake doctor's report to come and lie to Judge Sewa's court. Who was the person, the accused, who was going to lie to who? The Attorney General was telling the accused to go and get a fake doctor's report and present in court. That alone, forget about the communities that was with it. We are talking about the Attorney General. We are not talking about the third Attorney General or the deputy. We are talking about the creme de la creme, the Attorney General, meaning the Holy Grail of Ghana law. He knows the rules and regulations that governs Ghana Emra. The judge went home and listened to the audio the third accused produced in court. She came back to court and said, the audio she listened to it like 10 times. And that, BBM free Attorney General Num. So one, she has admitted, say, on the tape, there was a conversation between the third accused and the prosecutor, who is Godfrey Dame, the Attorney General. So that alone, for a judge to recognize, say, the Attorney General was speaking to an accused he was prosecuted in court. For that alone, a rational, honest, transparent judge will tell the Attorney General that this case is tainted. Judge Okanokure, and a judge you using for political power. That judge will stop the case right there and say, you know what? The first one, Setekwe came to say it is not even Ato Forson. It was him. I made it slide. Secondly, now you are caught on tape talking to the accused, telling the accused to lie to me in court, to deceive the Republic of Ghana. The judge should have stopped the case and tell the Attorney General to file a nolle prosequi. But what did the judge say? The judge said even though she had the Attorney General on tape, conniving, convincing, plotting and planning, deceiving the Republic of Ghana and the law and the court, she said, as far as she did not hear the Attorney General speak clearly that the accused should go and commit a crime, she does not want to take this matter serious. This is a judge in Ghana sitting on a high-profile political case. This is a criminal case. Now, the judge tells the accused that the accused should go and bring all the evidence he has. So, answer the judge because accused, so I will tape not by me 10 times. The judge is admitting, say, what say the Attorney General now the original court prosecutor at third accused is speaking. He has broken the law because the judge did not tell us to say the Attorney General wasn't the one speaking on the audio. She has admitted that the Attorney General was the one caught on the audio. So I will drive a car. Now, uti free. Now say car ne ko. Now halfway. Munim say car ne do baby a break and a madian a maka ni jina. Now o check it. Now say break ni wa. You know automatically you are going to die. Say utie audio. Now ujitum. Say Attorney General Godfrey Dame ne wo audio no so abra wonim emra na ebo de court ho ban ene Ghana law ho ban na automatically the Attorney General breaks now has come off. You stop the case, you tell the man to reposition the case. But the judge did not do that. Or say the accused momuno enko for more evidence mbreno na tape no wajiatum. The moment I beg this tape na tum no now what you to more court to say Attorney General Ebum Raso. See, the moment I would judge over admit a tape say it is part of that case, then you are admitting the voices on it, and the voices on it was the accused and the Attorney General. Now, the voices alone, if it was even just the two of them just talking for a second, and that conversation has got to do with the case in front of you, you stop it right there. Now, if you want to even be more biased, some person are more corrupt, more jandam, or person are more political, you can still say it's a case in Nkoso. Some person Ghana from who say, oh, you're corrupt judge, and in this case, I'm not saying you're corrupt. I am making a case. Some person Ghana from who say, oh, you're transparent judge, and you are not being used like Henrietta Abana. You will at least tell the Attorney General to mount the witness box, to answer from you, the judge, not even the accused lawyer, from you, the judge, and the oath. Say, the tape that you are admitting in court, was it him speaking with the accused person? Because before you add that to the court document, before you add that to court proceedings, records, because in your judgment, everything you admit, it should form part of your judgment. So, for you to give an encouragement to the people you are serving, and the intelligent ones watching you, you at least have to put the Attorney General in the box under oath and say, I am admitting this audio. But before I admit this audio, I want to ask you under oath, is this your voice on this audio? So that when I'm writing my judgment, I can infuse it. Because if you, the judge, refuse to put the Attorney General in the box to confirm that his voice is on that tape, you can write your judgment without including the evidence on the tape. Because at this point, you have just accepted it, the evidence. But you have not, at the end of the day, officially included it in the court proceedings. So you did that. Now the strategy here, Judge Define, say he is just doing that to stop the pressure outside. Because the reason why Attorney General Ambejinada came to do what? To confirm the tape, whether it is voice or not. And they say she wants to write her judgment without adding this tape evidence into it. Because the moment Attorney General Babachada came, Ajatum say, and the voice, it should be part of her judgment. And she cannot write a judgment with the Attorney General being implicated as then committing a crime and still wanting the case to go in his favor. So what the judge is doing right now is he's basically playing this card of magic tape, but tape, at this point, it does not have any value on my judgment. Now, so this is what happened. The judge did not put the Attorney General in the box. So as we speak today, it could be said the tape the judge has admitted, it is not Attorney General's voice. But we are all sitting here saying that it is voice. So at the end of the day, you are making us think, say, Attorney General di Bonibia Abra Ondi. It is only when he enters the box and the Bema Yenina wo judge and who say it was Godfrey Dame speaking to the accused behind his lawyer and you. But why is that so difficult for this judge to do? It is difficult for her to do because she has already written her judgment. The same way as J.A. Kufuor, Jogati, Kufuor Adomo, Emma Henrietta Aban, actually the judgment even before Tsatsu entered court. This judge, to me, from my experience and from what I have followed in journalism, she has already written her judgment. When she accepts this tape and put Godfrey Dame under oath, her judgment will be tainted. She cannot read her judgment. Into all that is happening in court, a technical strategy. Well, I accept the case, tape, but she will not infuse that in her judgment. Because the moment Attorney General will accept to say, it is my voice. So we are not telling the judge to interrogate the Attorney General. We are telling the judge to just let Attorney General Godfrey Dame swear an oath and say yes or no and get out of the box. She's not going to do it because the moment she does that, the moment Attorney General says it is my voice, what happens is that Attorney General now becomes a witness. And he has to answer questions. And then the agenda now, it will not work. Make sure say J.A. Kufuor, Jogate Kufuor, the plan, and they are cutting out the due process. But when you're smart, into who say due process is being cut out. They are making you think they are being fair. And especially this judge is making you think she's being fair. She is not. She is cutting out due process so that it will be easy for her to write a judgment to jail Ato Forson. Now, Yatiana Afei, you say it is time for Godfrey Dame to come and interrogate the third accused, who is Jakpa. Now, since the case we started, you know, Attorney General Godfrey Dame Nejina Nenaso every single day. I interrogate and I say I cross-examine every accused person. He has never allowed anyone from day one. Suddenly or shockingly, Godfrey Dame, the last time the judge, you know, instead of the judge to stop the case, you know, the judge rather was advising Godfrey Dame. Advice, you can decide to ignore, you can decide to take. Godfrey Dame came out of court and said, it's a case we on one be DNM. Judge Netunufo and so on. Now, a due time I was say you cross-examine a Jakpa, and it is the Attorney General Godfrey Dame who is supposed to do that. The first court and the second court, Godfrey Dame ama. While ma or say a state prosecutor, while man the deputy impone by you, or say state prosecutor, or a buying prosecutor, no, or a civil servant, no, or no moment na Embrambe represented the whole Attorney General's office. The case was started by the Attorney General and it was led by the Attorney General himself. Suddenly, the Attorney General is not willing to meet or face Jakpa one-on-one in court to cross-examine Jakpa. Godfrey Dame is saying so about Kronon. The Godfrey Dame now, or see he has a case. Jakpa is a criminal. He has been able to gather enough evidence. That is why he has led this case from day one. No? Suddenly, Godfrey Dame does not want to engage Jakpa, who is an accused in a box, in the same judge's court. Fine. We best say there are so many ways to kill a cat. Or see, right now, no, or the power no Ediama state prosecutor. Any deputy attorney general say omo na sebio omo and cross-examine Jakpa. The reason why Godfrey Dame empese obe cross-examine Jakpa and say it will be a direct statement to him, because at the end of the day, say Godfrey Dame ebusa Jakpa say, Mr. Jakpa, at this point, can you prove to me that you are not guilty? Jakpa can say that, Godfrey Dame, you, the Attorney General, you met me on this day, at this time, at this location, and told me to lie so that Ato Forson will be jailed. What will Godfrey Dame do? Is the judge going to say overruled? He needs to go into the records. He has to answer. Now, because Godfrey Dame knows the crime he has committed, and he knows that that witness, that accused, was going to basically reciprocate or going to send back the questions to him, no, he has decided to avoid it. And I think what I am seeing here, and I say, Godfrey Dame, any judge, you know, any the presidency, they are using the same playbook as J.A. Kufuor AUZ against Tsikata. Now, in court today, Godfrey Dame came to court, but he decided not to cross-examine Jakpa. Why? Godfrey Dame is not sick. Godfrey Dame said in public, even though the judge has advised him to step away from the case and go to the General Legal Counsel for discipline, he is not going to heed or listen to the judge's advice, and that he is going to lead the case. Shockingly today, for some reason, Godfrey Dame by court and you know and a cross-examine Jakpa. Now let's go and hear or read what actually transpired in court. Make sure. We want Ghanaians to understand what these people are doing to you. Now in court, this is what transpired. You know say or court all because you say people are causing financial loss to the state. Ato Forson, Jakpa, Ato Forson, the secretary no sign here. Into MPP aban Kufuor the DNM Godfrey Dame DNM no. Almost say we need to jail him. 2.3 million euros. No campaign in a friend big C no. Campaign in say your money is sitting here, Boga. You people should take your money and give us our ambulance. The judge, Madam Sewa, knows about this. She says she doesn't care. See, when you read Ghana's law, causing financial loss to the state, it means a lot of things. Let's pull that one for me now. You say causing financial loss to the state. O de battery moi. You say Ato Forson ne Jakpamo. Oma fakulti kwan bi tuma Ghana aboka. E kasa ne yabo 2.3 million euros. Nipa na e fa omo so me yabo ka no. You say Ato Forson mo akowia de oma akowia. Sorry, mo say Ato Forson mo ebusua japade oma tam akoton. Tie. Oma tam ebusua sika. Akoto taxi. One jakpa ene ebusua tenase ene ese Ato Forson mo eye ka na mokoton ma hwan ene so moton ma Kevin Taylor ene ese ne Ato Forson mo de ebusua bone moye bone intimo no ye betwe maso ene Ato Forson emo se bone be ne aye nipa ya ye de yakoton eye ade mani nipa ne se sika no wo ho nipa ne se ye meje ade den na se a nipa se magicika na ebusuafo se yempe na Ato Forson na ebetwe na so na say it means say ebi Ato Forson na je obi yiri wo busuanim. Now uhwe gofredame issue ya making ya eti say ohene bi ti krom ma menya ni basic mawo na ohene no abodwa na abodwa say ekrom ho obi wie anyoma wo krom ho yeti krom eno ohina abodwa ochia metia ohima tia odi krotia edi endien ebusuafo nyina tia eno ohina abodwa eno ohene ne se sia ekro na etimu no eye obi abokro no okrom ha na nipa obokro no ye fre no Kwame Ata me na Kwame Ata ye chi Kwame Ata begina hemfie no ena Kwame Ata ka se oh enkoko na mewia no na na chia me ye because yet na himfie na ye ka asema enye ohene ne kasa ohene kasa fa chia me mu enti in this case na chia me ene Godfrey Dame ena sebio nipa na so obawo kro no ese ede Ato Forson ene ye nipa na so akochi akokọ no ede na begina kọ ayi ahimfie ena nipa na akochi akokọ no ye so on na akochi akokọ no se nana mosema chimi amate na nipa ye friend ochia me de bia na dwu bia o ne me ne di nkomo kire me senia nipa enkokọ wo mo buom tie Ato Forson ye chirodo ena osenana mosema cheme mate nipa de bia anadwu bia ofre me ba ne fie na okire me ekrom ha omo a omo nkokoto nkosua eye ochia me ya me ba begina himfie ya obetoto manwin je na wo so ohene ne ye dia wo so ohene ne ya ne say and ohene at this point is the judge say ohene ne penokore a dia wo so ohene ne ya ne say obefro ochia me na chia me bra je afena we ne di nsie na me yanti ase se asem na Ato Forson ka to so no eye no kore ananye no kore ansa na yato aso ade achi ne esa ba himfia na chia me so wa ba no wonkasa na chia me eye Godfrey Dame no nana de wo se nana se nana na oto no se onye kromfo se opese pepeyo opese asem no hu dawa nana beka se me chia me eye Ato Forson se enkoko na yesi wa kowia no de bia na dwu bia otu fie na mudidi ho nkomo wo na wo kire ne bebia nkokoko sua wo o se wo na se bia wo hye ne tupa ma ne kofa nkokko no na ahemfie de ya abosom ene twa ho ehia enti faafena wei na di nsie na yi Ato Forson asem na no se de o ka no eye no kure anyanse nya no kure ohini bia oye correct o ka no kure bia ope no kure no sa na obeka kire chia me o chia me ne se sesia no asem na nana ka wo so lu cheche no onye biem wakofra ahenkwa sa ahenkwa mbeye na oni dia won awum asem no koso no ochia me ne da hotewo ahenkwa no toto Ato Forson na ochia me na waka bibie gu ahenkwa na sum na nana ne tewo odi problem and this is what is happening in the courtroom ohene no na ya judge no ochia me ne Godfrey Dame ahenkwa na yakofo na ba no na state attorney no and the state attorney ne toto de jakpa anu a na ochia me na yese ono na ene Ato Forson tu 2 points which the momo ko wi akoko no ochia me ne se already asem no onka bi o me swear na o me ka no kura na ochia me se onye ohene no so se o ma ochia me pressure and it means say so ohene no ama ochia me no ambe dintam ambe ka say asem na Ato Forson ka no to so no kura na se nya no kura na se ohene so ko sua no owia bi ohene no so ye kromfo na se ohene no onim de ekoso because e kire se ochia me no se Ato Forson kofa nkokɔ no ba ɔde nkokɔ kɔsua de bi kɔma nana ɛni tire nana mpɛ sɛ ɔkyia me na ɛbɛgye afena no asoɛ sɛ ɔdi ntam ɛno kora na sɛ nyɛ no korɛ. That is what is transpiring in our courtroom today. The judge refusing to let Attorney General swear an oath to clear himself shows the judge at the end of the day is partnering the Attorney General behind the scenes. That is how I make out of this. And I am not against anybody. We are all brainstorming on this thing. Anytime a whole scenario. And assembly see what court. Again see what court. Mumi Njujum. Mr. P. You have anything for me? Oh, you're talking about the it's not even necessary now. Now, this is what happened in court today. An ambulance in your court. Big C for some metia. Yamfa ya ambulance mromo no mo fa yisika mai eno ano no. Se tekwa abase e ono na ma Ato Forson instructions. Jakpa ono oye agent. De ye nyina court be 2 years a yes say Ghana sika de bia yetua nkofo kan nyina say ye sika ahye causing financial loss to the state. Inti ye sika ahye ye pe kwan so e ma yensa ka sika. Big C for so aka cha Attorney General say mo ambulance no mo fambre na mo ngi musika ye hia musika mpo biom Attorney General so mpe judge oto. So the question I'm asking is say what are we looking for e dey na ye pe e journey e pa na say sika na ayera na ye pe what are we looking for dey na ye pe are we going to jail Ato Forson and later go and tell Big C say omuntua sika no na mo be for ambulance na what are we looking for because it is causing financial loss to the state and we are trying to retrieve that loss and the loss is sitting there but we say we are not taking the loss we are still going to go after Ato Forson. Why? Anka ended the anka me sure say you ra court no anka ambulance one semana the best start mo hwe the see wo court Ato Forson eye jakpa and the not adakem Attorney General Gofredame at court on kasa okuta pen and paper and our smart state attorney say onu mo court to jakpa no na de na one say Attorney General to otro nsem okrata so na odiama edien state attorney say omusa sa akasa omusa sa question no. This is what happened in court today. Gofredame eme take oath so onye and oti courtroom and okuta krata and a paper and o state attorney and cross examine jakpa enti okasa no afre no na watwere krata so say busasa de we. Who is cross-examining Japa? It's not Attorney General Gofredame. But because the judge, you know, on person Gofredame, she was fine with this. Now, Momianko, see how they started the case. And they did something very interesting and funny. That is why I say, the judge is basically the technical advisor to the Attorney General. I'm telling you. That is what I see. I see, say, Judge Sewa is the technical advisor to the Attorney General because all that is happening in court, it has been planned. Because on a normal day, that is not how court proceedings should go on. The first thing they tried to do was to do what? So this is a report from Joy News. Time and no. Almost a state cross examines Jakpa in ambulance procurement trial. Joy for reporter the say Attorney General Gofredame just passed another note of questions to the Director of Public Prosecution to ask Jakpa. Intakwa we not the courtroom judge nehuno. And okutan papers and or questions no amwa no the amount prosecutors e busano. But on one kasa pass obeba be jira Jakpa enim ebusa question no. Judge ni sema manenye. Anytime I say the judge is the technical advisor to Attorney General. So when Attorney General is sitting in court and writing on note and passing on to a prosecutor, it means the Attorney General is the one indirectly questioning Jakpa. Why is he refusing to stand before Jakpa? It is because when he stands before Jakpa, Jakpa will insist that he takes an oath to answer the question, because it's a direct answer he's going to give him. Because oneno and a tenase and a kasaye, but the judge knows, and the judge does not want that to happen. Into behind the scenes, the technical advisor, who is the judge, is telling Attorney General, do not confront Jakpa, because in the first place, tape na imagine I'm supposed to let you enter a box to admit to say your voice or it is not your voice. That alone, I have broken the law, but I am trying to push that through, because in any serious court, the judge is supposed to question the Attorney General whether it was his voice on the tape or not. It is not about the judge's submission on the tape. It is about the authentication of the voices on the tape. In Tinanko said, judge, the first thing he was supposed to do was to call the Attorney General and say, is that your voice under oath? If he denies, then we move on. If he says yes, then you still add it to it. But for a reason, the judge decided to move away from that route. Because the moment he moves Attorney General into a box for him to admit, say it is his voice on court records, it means she will have to add the audio to her judgment. She doesn't want to do it because the judgment has already been prepared. See, I'm going to move fixed match. Mr. Judge, or the Attorney General, or your Attorney General and a technical advisor. Somebody is saying, Mr. Kevin, can't Jakpa ask the judge to let the Gofredame take an oath? They have asked the judge. The judge says nothing. Judge is on yet. Jakpa lawyers, I catch the judge and say, Mama Attorney General MS swear oath. Now on answer question. Judge is on yet. Now, so this was what was happening this morning in court. Now, almost 30 cases, almost to Jakpa, they had an agenda, and that agenda was that discredit the accused person. Now, my mention my DB or law. My mention my DB in law. What prosecutors do majority of the time when they don't have a case, and let me tell you this: there are prosecutors see here around the world when they don't have a case, or we need enough evidence to prosecute her. What they first do is say they try to discredit the accused. Now, how do you discredit an accused? If we are saying Obia on the past, if we are saying Obia was something they've done. Now, what prosecutors do, especially when they are corrupt and they want to taint a case or they want to skew the process, the first thing they do, because their case is weak, they try to discredit the accused before they start to ask their weak questions. Now, who is Nipa? Mamika bin sure. Anytime they be a catcher say, President Nipa Otunufo ansana wakoda yire, because the wife is the last person that speaks to the man before he goes to bed. And if the wife is canon, oba or ye nipa bonini no or no ene say eye bema adwene. And in the majority of the time no, say bema ware na say ebi aware no gu na say okofa oba afofra. Majority of the time, stepchildren, they don't get enough from the family, because at the end of the day, no matter how good a Korani yet to papa no, maamina or any stepmother and papa ne koda. The final word na Korani bekat maamina bekat to papa ni trim and then in the morning it activates. Into what Gofredame and the Attorney General and the non person from the beginning say, they first wanted to discredit the Jakpa. Now, when they discredit Jakpa, to go back and say, oh, why a mistake Sibiwa Abraboma, it means automatically Ghanaians, we will have to condemn Jakpa before we listen to Jakpa. What did they make? Into the strategy of Gofredame and the mobile court and say, first, discredit the accused. When you discredit the accused in the eyes of the judge, then you can ask your weak questions. The moment you are discredited, who defending who saying Buma and Ye, et say ya show say uye or malakta. Yede tie ashaw ho a yebe show. No matter what you say, it will not make sense to anybody. And they say obi aden abodam wa recover or catch or say na adwumun kan bi. It is tough for the sane person to believe, and that is the strategy, the psychological player, Attorney General, any judge, the technical director, that is what they played in court today, to discredit the accused before they question the accused. Because the relevant questions now, it is connected to the case, the Attorney General's questions are weak. They are not strong. Oko any court, that's Attorney General, it was strong evidence. On somebody Donald Trump, Echo General Court, and saying, New York, the Attorney General, when he came, he did not come to discredit Donald Trump. He came with his questions to pose it, because they believe they say every question they were asking Donald Trump, they already have answers that are legitimate, factual, evidence-based. So they did not have to discredit him. It was the answer of the accused Donald Trump, and never discrediting. So when you see the New York Attorney General, when he went into the case, they did not go around to go and discredit Donald Trump 2012, we say, and they were sticking to the case, and the questions were directly from the case. But now, because Attorney General they know they don't have a substantive case with enough evidence to prosecute the accused 1 and 2, they resorted to discredit before you come in with your weak answers. When they entered court today, the first thing they did, this is the first thing they did in court. I was honorably released and not dismissed from the army. Richard Jakpa pushed back on the prosecution claim he was dismissed. Into almost 30 to 2 and I'm saying, oh, Jakpa, so yapamon. Does it relate to the case we are talking about here? Their first question, almost 30 so mubusa Jakpa and say, Jakpa na wo so jamu no yapamon, and Jakpa say yampamon. Into what they tried to do from the start was to discredit him, for people to see, say, Jakpa Krampono sa on your law abiding. Oh, Jakpa Krano, or was some bad record. Oh, Jakpa Krampono, or a nipebia, or a hooligan, or Nimraso, or course, Jamunu Krampono, na Omuadie. So, this is where a weak Attorney General who has a weak case, that is how they built their case. Until they started the case, the cross-examination from when Jakpa was in the military, the Ghana military, because the strategy is they wanted people to know his background. And you see, Jakpa, nane papa ye NDC ni. Jakpa, nane papa, at the end of the day, omo mukoyi JJ Rawlings every prison, nane papa kahu. Ne papa ye ex-military man. Jakpa eko Ghana military muno. He carried that load on him because obiatia wona papa kan eye omo mukoyi Rawlings ho. Some people might like you, some people too might hate you, especially people who were appointed into the military from a political point. Ebia Obuoha Wabe Penyini, he was appointed by an NPP regime. Automatically, they will not like you. Jakpa carried a load. Now, what they tried to do was they wanted the people to know, say, oh, Jakpa or your NDC, they were doing politics. Ne papa used to be a military. Jakpa so no military mu, na se bi onim raso. From his past conduct, he is not credible. Every answer he will give us menjin di. Yam cannot say. Into what they are doing now is they are basically destroying the guy to you first before they pose their weak questions. Into they were preparing the brains of Ghanaians. Law, it's all about psychology. They want to prepare the minds of Ghanaians. A circle, a political circle. They want to create that idea. Say Jakpa ye NDC ni, ne papa no ye NDC ni. Jakpa no wo ye military ni krampo no nimra so. Until he cannot be credible today. Now you get it, yeah. Until this is how they started their questions, because they want to politicize the case more. Because they know, say they have the base MPP for no, they need to give them something to go on TV. Because on Saturday on Metna TV the Americans say they are going to concentrate more on Jakpa's past than the relevant issues. Because Jakpa Okosoja Wankosoja, I don't give a heck about that. Jakpa ne papa Okoyi Rawlings so I don't give a heck about that. What I care about is Jakpa in court today about the ambulance. That is what I care about. So when I'm listening to the Attorney General and asking Jakpa about his past in the military, that Attorney General is foolish. He doesn't have enough evidence to prosecute. Now, after that, they moved on to another question. Ambulance once I copy military. State cross-examine Jakpa. Question Busano. Jakpa answer. Apart from your unsatisfactory conduct, that led to your sack. You also failed to pass your exams. After Attorney General say, oh, you say, o pass record in Yanti, a pamu free sojemu, and now one sound passing exams to be sojemu. What has this got to do with the case? It has no bearing on this case. It has no bearing. Say Jakpa FLE what military the exams are. I don't care because I'm looking at the case, the relevant case on my lap today. Say Jakpa FLE exams when he was a military man. I don't care whether he had the bad past in the military. I don't care. Now what they are doing is character assassination. First of all, omo person almost saying the chile Ghana for and sign behind the scenes no omo busa omo weak questions no, because if they come in with their weak questions, Jakpa will slice it into pieces. Now what do you have again? Right now what they will be doing from tomorrow, omo media houses no, they'll be concentrating more on Jakpa's past than the relevant issue on the table. The relevant issue on the table is financial loss to the state, and it's got to do with the ambulance. So why are we not delving deep into that, rather asking or telling people about the past of Jakpa? I don't give a fuck about Jakpa's past. What I give a fuck about now as a Ghanaian is what we are talking about in court. But the judge was sitting there and she was nodding. Any serious court judge will say this is not relevant to the case. Move to another question. But this judge, she was sitting there and smiling because that is what they want to do. You get it? Because the judge could have asked the prosecutor, how relevant is this to the case? A serious judge who is not corrupt, who really wants judgment na just obia be say wey a very important case was say you didn't hear no, the judge will stop the prosecutor and say, prosecutor, asking about his time in the military has got nothing to do with what we are talking about. Asking him about his father and whether he passed an exams in the military, it's got nothing, it has no bearing on this case. Into judge Papa Bia on your technical advisor to the Attorney General will stop the prosecutor and say, no, these are not important questions, override, go on another question. But the judge was sitting there because it is something they have planned. The guy is too strong, the guy is too intelligent. Do what we say, character assassination, destroy his character first. People will talk about his character than the case itself. From Ochina Kono, what you will hear and they say, they will be discussing Jakpa, ne papa, time he was in the military, then exams of a tray, and the relevant matter, no, they will ignore it. And that is how the judge will maneuver her way and write a judgment. We need to be serious in this country. This is a criminal matter. This is not a child's play. This is serious. We are not supposed to play around these things and make it look like we are in a jungle. People's lives are at stake here. Now, still, under interrogation, no? Another question. They were asking him more. They spent about 2 hours on when he was in the military. 2 hours of the taxpayers' money. Godfrey Dame was writing questions and giving to the woman. And all the questions that she was asking Jakpa, or they were asking Jakpa, was irrelevant to the matter. But the judge did not have a problem with it. Now, I won the marksmanship and skill at the Arms Award for the whole of my intake. Now, the question they were asking him was all about when you were in the military, you were a bad person. That's what they want to say. Godfrey Dame, any office, you know, character assassination is what they did today in court. They wanted to destroy who the man is before they ask their weak questions. And the judge knows. Let me tell you, judge be serious. Be on pair. Stop beside you one time and say, hey, you can't waste my time. You are the prosecutor. You have had over a year in court. You should be able to go direct to this case. Ask your relevant questions. What you are asking has got nothing to do with this case. Whether this guy went to the military or not, we don't care. We are looking at the money. We are looking at the people who committed a crime. Do you have enough evidence to prosecute? Questions you be asking should be relevant to this matter. And the judge sits there for almost 2 hours and be nodding because they have connived. Right now, they don't have enough to prosecute. But what they can do is they can prosecute the character of the people and hide behind that to jail them. That is what they are doing. It is the J.A. Kufuor strategy. Now, they went on. You sent the AG. Now, after they distracted the system and put out the headlines, because, strategically, the ones that they said about Jakpa or questioned him on about his military history, that is the headlines they wanted. After they got their headlines, now they started asking their weak questions. At that moment, everybody is exhausted. Let me tell you something. Your statistics is fresher. Majority of the journalists and everybody there, we are sharp. Everybody is fresh. About 2 hours time sitting on your ass and listening to people talk back and forth. After 2 hours, your interest in the case and your level of their concentration drops. The rapt attention you had from the beginning automatically goes down. Your interest in following the case abruptly, following the details, it drops. Everyone in the courtroom, your attachment and excitement drops after an hour or two. Now, they used about 2 hours to exhaust the brain of the people there. Now, after they realized that the brains have been exhausted, among four are not in there too much again, now they went to the case itself. Anytime I just say it's psychological. What they were doing in court, they planned it. The reason why I say the judge knows about it, and then they say all the questions they started asking for the first 2 hours, she could have stopped it and said, hey, this has got nothing to do with the case. But she nodded. She said yes, because she knows the Attorney General has no facts. His questions, his real questions, are weak. Yeah. Now they jump to this. Jakpa in ambulance procurement trial says, you sent the AG, Godfrey Dame, 68 messages on WhatsApp and he responded to only 2. Prosecution to Jakpa. Almost say, Afe, Attorney General prosecutor and say, Jakpa, o send 68 messages. E koma Godfrey Dame. And Godfrey Dame responded with 2. Inti prosecutor and person say, Jakpa and kanokre. I can send you 56 documents. 56 different documents. I can send you about 60 documents, pages of court documents. It will count it as messages. And then the next 2-3 messages, I'll text you. Now, whether the AG responded to 1 or responded to 2, the Attorney General knew he was talking to. So it does not come in here whether it was 1 message, 2 messages, or 10 messages. The Attorney General knew who he was talking to, and he knew that he was talking to somebody he was prosecuting, and it was against the law for him to respond. So the moment Attorney General gets even a text message that hi, and Attorney General says hi, and then the person says I am Kevin, Attorney General stops there. You don't move on. You don't even write anything. The next day when you come to court, you show that to the court and say, yesterday I was there when I received some kind of message. I didn't know who he was. The person said hi. I said hi back. The person introduced himself as this. I stopped talking. Mr. Judge, Madam Judge, this is my evidence. Then the judge will take decision. You are trying to influence the Attorney General. Now, when the Attorney General keeps on going on and start texting you back, then it means he knows what he's doing. So for the Attorney General responding to 3 or whatever, the number of responses from the Attorney General does not matter. It's about the consent. Did he know who he was texting back? Did the Attorney General know who he was talking to? Unless the Attorney General wants to tell us he never knew the person he was talking to. He did not have an idea of who he was replying. If somebody sent you 200 messages, and you respond to the message, it's a dialogue. Your first message can be taken as you didn't know, or you not knowing the person. The moment you follow it up with another message, you know the person. So that is not an excuse. Just saying that because he sent 68 messages and you responded with 3, he can send 68 documents. After you read the document, you respond to the document. So does it mean that you did not have a conversation with the person? So it takes only a weak-minded attorney general and a judge who has already written her judgment to allow this nonsense to happen in court. Now, they moved on. The WhatsApp conversation was between Attorney General Dame and myself. He is at liberty to bring other portions that he feels would discredit what I have put here. Inti Jakpa went ahead to say, the conversation that I have provided as evidence, it was a conversation between myself and Godfrey Dame, the Attorney General. If he feels that he has other chats between the two of us that makes his case better, he is at liberty to provide it to the court. At this point, why is the judge still sitting and not calling Attorney General to take an oath to tell us whether these things this man is saying is true? Because basically what we are talking about here is Godfrey Dame committing a crime. This is a criminal case. Nipa na ojanda kamune say, "Sa mo prosecutor we me say WhatsApp messages no. Dear onne me edi nkomo na me de abra court no. Say o see our conversation a me try to no so a onfambra. The accused is opening up a lot of opportunities for the prosecutor to do what? To clear himself, to prove to Ghanaians that he, the prosecutor, is not a thief, he's not a criminal, he does not negotiate behind the scenes. This guy is giving Godfrey Dame a fair hearing. He is making the judge's job easy. Through this, he is telling the judge, let the man come and deny, and that when he comes, whatever evidence he has against me, he can produce it. Why is Judge Sewa not worried? Why is Judge Sewa not telling Attorney General to come into the box? This same Attorney General you are talking about is not in Dubai. He was sitting in that court and he was writing questions for the state prosecutor to ask Jakpa. Ye Jimmy yana. Ye mwa. Ye krone timno. Ye nimu nyansa biem. Ye shisha mrechi. Ye shisha politics echi. Now hear this. Almost abusa Jakpa. And an answer say, my cousin who was on a bench asked for permission and went to AG in his robes and spoke with him for me to be discharged after meeting my bail conditions. My cousin made me speak with the Attorney General on his phone when I was at the police station. Jakpa say, time yachi mi tu ma court kasi en fami nkotum. Eya miankasa me cousin Yoni Kulendi our Supreme Court na oye juma wo Kufuor law firm Kufuor appointing it to the Supreme Court. Me cousin ono ena di that time na oti case so Supreme Court or shed red Emma or excuse no ho sorry ekofre Godfrey Dame catch them say me Jakpa be the police cells na me meeting me bail into on making sure say you Jimmy Emma Godfrey Dame, Emma Mene Godfrey Dame ekasa wo me cousin Supreme Court judge phone so e dey biem na judge we pay. This is an Attorney General who is conniving with Supreme Court judges to make sure people are granted bail. This is an Attorney General who is still alive and still sitting in the courtroom. This is a Supreme Court judge Yoni Kulendi who is still alive. The judge is ignoring all these green lights or red lights, whatever you want to call it. This case, and Tsatsu Tsikata case, difference in the move. One of these days, Ato Forson will go to court, he will not come back home. Kufuor is playing Kufuor's blue book, the same. That's a Kufuor Attorney General. So what he is doing, it is not different from Tsatsu Tsikata. And I keep saying, the judge is the problem. Hey? Case when the biggest problem is Judge Sewa. The NPP government is using the judge. Don't look anywhere. Godfrey Dame, don't look at Godfrey Dame. It is the judge. It is the judge that they are using. This testimony alone in court shows that the case is tainted. I didn't think that. Why are we still here? So right now, The judge wants to tell us, say, Assembia Jakpabeka, it cannot be contested. Nobody should contest it. Then how is she going to write a judgment? Because we don't know whether Jakpa is lying under oath. And the people that he is mentioning in this high-profile criminal cases are still sitting in court with you. So if the judge refuses to even bring these people to speak, to whether to confirm whether Jakpa is saying the truth or not, how is she going to come to a conclusion to write her judgment? That tells you she has already written her judgment. Me say, judge, if you say, well, she has already written her judgment. Tape nearby, no, she will not include it. Senko person include tape now. And Kobe catch a go for them, so Robert Nadakam. No, Musan, one question, pay. Attorney General, is that your voice on the tape? Nanko, they kind of judgment. But the moment she does that, she cannot read this judgment that has been prepared for her. Until she's doing everything possible to prevent Godfrey Dame from engaging Jakpa. And internet and the Enya Godfrey Dame na air cross examine Jakpa. Now see this. The Attorney General made a verbal request at my cousin's house. And so some of the 68 messages were based on the verbal request he made at my cousin's house. I said Godfrey Dame ankasa ena time omushia ewo yoni kulendi fie no. Oka say eye dein eye Jakpa emphasize information in sending on WhatsApp. Attorney General to court. The man we are saying said what Jakpa is saying he said is sitting in court. So what is stopping this judge from making this guy come to the box to deny or admit to what Jakpa is saying? Then it means the judge is the problem, not the Attorney General. Because the Attorney General, no, say judge the judge is creating the room for the Attorney General to commit a crime. That is why the judge is listening to only one side of the story. Let us listen to the other side of the story. That is why you are a judge. You should be just. What is preventing you from opening up the case for all of us to know what actually transpired? Why are you covering half of the case and trying to judge your case on just one aspect of the case? That is not right. That is not just. That is illegal. You are not being fair. We need to we need to be serious for once. 1982, your board judges for to we need to learn lessons from these things. We need to be open, transparent. We need to let the people understand that they can at least trust us when it comes to transparency. What came on us? DNAC. What is happening to us? Anytime the NPP is in power, they turn judges into murderers. Why? All that Ghanaians are asking for is fair trial. I don't care. Whoever commits a crime should go to jail. It is your job to jail anybody. Why are we not getting a fair trial here? Even people who are not law, people who have not learnt law, can see clearly that, Madam Judge, you are being biased. That is it. Where on earth do we listen to only one part of a story and write a judgment? And this is the same thing J.A. Kufuor did to Tsatsu Tsikata. But do you think this time is going to happen and nothing is going to happen? No, don't do that. You people should not put this country on that line. We are basically fighting to retain our democracy. You don't do these things. Now see, this is what Jakpa said in court. Are saying if the Attorney General Godfrey Dame is still insisting what I'm saying is not true, he should be put in the box to testify under oath. This accused person said, if Godfrey Dame is sitting there, who is the Attorney General, is still insisting that I am lying, Madam Judge, why don't you put him under oath for him to come and tell us the truth? You get an accused person who is bold enough under oath to say that the person I'm talking about is sitting here. Let him swear, take an oath, and come sit here and say I am lying. The judge sits there and says nothing. Godfrey Dame sits there and writes questions for the prosecutor to ask Jakpa. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we suppressing the law to favor some people? And that is why I keep saying, say, the biggest problem about this case, you know, the biggest problem, what case we know, the judge. The judge is the problem in this case. I'm telling you, the way Kufuor them use Judge Henrietta Abano, the same way Kufuor Attorney General Godfrey are using Madam Efia Sewa. It is despicable. You know, sometimes people say, we don't talk about judges. And I keep saying here on my platform, I can't. Judges are not God. Judges are humans. They have the same intelligence we have. So there's a reason why court in Bremo, you will be a friend review. And into the appeals court. And into the Supreme Court cry a review. Then it means they're sitting there, they can take a bribe. They're sitting there, they are admitting they can make mistakes. They're sitting there, they are admitting that their emotions, their affiliation, their connection to something can make them call wrong judgment. So they themselves, they know that they are not perfect. So we have the right to question judges when we as a people see that they are basically deviating from the basics of their job. Scrutinizing and questioning a judge does not make you a criminal. Questioning the conduct of a judge does not make you criminal. Questioning the mentality behind judges' actions in court does not make you a criminal. Does not make you look like somebody who has committed a crime against court. We all have the right. I am not sitting here acting as if I don't know that this is a criminal case. I'm also not going to sit here and act like a fool that when a case is being twisted, I wouldn't know. We need to get these things right. See, from infancy, and not from a very long time we've seen there. When you come to Ghana, there's one thing there are two extremes. Besides, give me a picture. There are two extremes say don't question judges in Ghana. When you question judges in Ghana, you are not disrespecting judges. So you are helping the judicial system to be stronger. Come to America today. A Supreme Court judge, one of the Supreme Court judges, he took favors from politicians. Today he's being scrutinized every single day in the New York Times. They are doing that judge's stories. Are you going to say the people who are talking about these things on radio and TV are disrespecting the court? They are trying to help the judiciary. But we have created something around court in Ghana and judges in Ghana that you cannot question them. And that is what is making some of these judges commit crimes. And no ama corruption a judiciary mu. Because we have forced to create something around judges in Ghana. In Ghana, you cannot question a judge. You cannot question the conduct of a judge. You cannot even question a case that is being tilted. Into ama judges, they are hiding behind those things and doing damage to people. And this is a clear cut. 2008. People were scared to question Judge Henrietta Aban. Because people failed to question her, she exhibited the highest form of corruption to jail an innocent man. And that is what we are seeing today. Come to America. Clarence Thomas, a Supreme Court judge, today on TV, on radio, people are discussing him, discussing his cases. They are discussing Roe v. Wade case. Judge Wade, so his judgment. We are discussing him. It does not mean anybody disrespects the court. It does not mean anybody is in contempt of court. Then everything is in contempt of court. Then we are not going to talk about judges in Ghana. This is the time we need to be questioning them. Judges are not demigods. Judges are humans. That's why there's a review. That's why there's an appeals court. They know that they are not perfect. We have caught judges in Ghana who are taking bribes. So the probability of we still having criminal judges, some in Ghana, is high. So we cannot pretend to say ostriches, our heads are in the sand and that nothing is happening. We all know we go to court, we see our judges. Some of them are not fit for the job they are doing. So let us not move away from the basics and the principles that govern this nation. We are sitting here, we don't even want to talk about ills in the society. Godfrey Dame is skewing the system. Kufuor is skewing the system. They are bending the law to favor people. Now, there's something I want to say. I've been talking about Justice Ifeasewa, right? Now, Justice Ifeasewa also works under the Chief Justice, Madam Gertrude Tokun. Now, I've heard the so-called legal brains in Ghana talk about what is happening in this case. I have heard those who know grammar than me, those who see themselves as the knowledge when it comes to legal matters in Ghana. I've seen the local champions in legal issues in Ghana, and they are speaking on this case every single day. I would like to ask one simple thing. When the judge received the audio, the third accused and the Attorney General, in the audio, in the court document, your boy Yoni Kulendi Dean, Attorney General, and the third accused, how did this woman take it? How did the Chief Justice take that message? That you are a Chief Justice of Ghana. Yoni Kulendi works with you in the Supreme Court. A high-profile criminal case in court today. Yoni Kulendi has been mentioned that he has been organizing meetings between an accused and the Attorney General who also works under you. Now I want to ask a simple question. When the Chief Justice heard about this, how did she feel? Did she take this as normal? Did she feel that what has happened, that a Supreme Court judge and the Attorney General caught on tape with an accused and meeting accused at odd hours, what do you think was going through the head of this woman who is the Chief Justice of Ghana? Remember, she appointed this judge on this case. So when I tell you that the judge is the problem, I'm telling you that the Chief Justice is the biggest problem. The principles that bind our legal our legal system, those principles, where are they? Because it's so interesting that a Chief Justice knows that a Supreme Court judge has broken the first law, the cardinal law, when it comes to the judiciary, and the Chief Justice sits and takes no action. The Chief Justice, under her watch, an Attorney General is caught on tape. In the history of the Republic of Ghana, it has never happened that an Attorney General meets an accused in the house of a Supreme Court judge and the Chief Justice sees nothing wrong. You want to tell me that the judge and the judge's boss are not a problem? At this point, the Chief Justice should be talking. The Chief Justice should be making a decision. She should be taking a decision that will change the face of our judiciary. But what do we see? Even though the Chief Justice knows that Attorney General has committed a crime, that the Supreme Court judge, Yoni Kulendi, has also committed a crime, the Chief Justice is happy and quiet. So now when I tell you that the judge sitting on the case is a technical director to the Attorney General, do you take me serious on that? Now the same judge who was appointed by the Chief Justice is directing the Attorney General to go to the General Legal Council that is chaired by the Chief Justice to discipline the Attorney General. Listen to me. The judge in say, "Yachi eye Godfrey Dame o tape no so no. Wa refer Godfrey Dame say, "Onko General Legal Council." Now General Legal Council no, eye the Ghana Bar Association president. Ebesin there asewe onka hwehwe. He is on the General Legal Council. The Chief Justice who appointed Yoni Kulendi and who the Attorney General works under is the chairman of the General Legal Council. These two people recently were praising the Attorney General in public after knowing vividly that the Attorney General has committed a crime, a judge in the Supreme Court, Yoni Kulendi, has committed a crime, the Chief Justice still went out there with the help of the Ghana Bar Association president to praise the criminal. That is why I tell you that the problem is the judge and the person who appointed the judge. This case, it has been thought through from the Chief Justice to the judge sitting on the case. No Ghanaian can change their mind. The same way Kufuor made it his project to jail Tsatsu Tsikata. We were in this country when we all hate. Now, you see, we don't hate anybody. We try to let people understand, say, a corona a woman, in penifoni binom woman, no one can cry. Hey, you were here. Thank you, team, for bringing this in. I really appreciate it. Were we not here, and a Chief Justice, Madam Tokonu, took this decision? What decision was it? Chief Justice dismisses judge for improper relationship with woman in divorce case. There's a case in your court, and a judge, you know, Mami bi ani ejana case in your court, and a judge, you know, and an chimpana. That was not a criminal case, but the Chief Justice took decision. The Chief Justice dismissed the judge. We have caught a Supreme Court judge infiltrating, organizing meetings in a criminal case, not just a criminal case, a high-profile criminal case. His name has been captured in court documents. The Chief Justice is quiet. But somebody went to chase somebody's wife. It wasn't criminal. It wasn't criminal because the woman who was being chased, that woman is not a kid. That woman agreed to the man's what? Agreed to the man's proposal. It was issues about ethics. We are talking about the same thing. A Supreme Court judge, an Attorney General caught on tape in the house of a Supreme Court judge having a meeting with an accused without their lawyer. And the Chief Justice to date has refused to make a statement. So now you know why I say the judge is the problem. I'm not talking about just the judge sitting on the case, but the boss of the judge who is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. So for the Chief Justice just to keep quiet, not to react, not to say anything, should tell you a lot. The Chief Justice is overseeing a court that is filled with criminal intent. She is not ready to crack the whip for it to be for it to strike left and right. The Chief Justice only goes after people she does not like. What is stopping her from making sure that Judge Yoni Kulendi is dismissed from the Supreme Court? What is stopping her from insisting that the Attorney General at the end of the day is suspended or takes an oath? What is stopping the Chief Justice from making a statement on this matter? We were in this country. I'm showing you the reason why I'm telling you. May Chow Bakes this, no? The reason I'm telling you is that this case has been cooked. And the Chief Justice knows the outcome of this case already. Yeah? We were here. And Ato Forson, Ebusa said, they want this case to be put on TV live for all of us to watch. Were we not here when Chief Justice allows live coverage of hearing challenging anti-LGBTQ? A Attorney General and the Court Chief Justice was saying, we should put that case on live TV. We all saw it. But Ato Forson said they also want a live coverage of this criminal case. The Chief Justice said no. In fact, she's not spoken on it. She has not even attended to it. Now you see where the biasness is from. This Ato Forson's case, if you think it's just the NPP government, then you are making a big mistake. It's a cartel. It runs through a process, a system. So, Yeni Atigana Nigerians say, Ato Forson Jakpadems are fighting only Attorney General. You are getting everything wrong. It has been cooked. The same way J.A. Kufuor cooked a story, cooked up allegations against Tsatsu Tsikata using Justice Henrietta Aban. They are using the Chief Justice today and Justice Ekuya to make sure that NDC Ato Forson is jailed. Why is this case not on live TV? Is the anti-LGBTQ better than this case? We are chasing 2.3 million euros. Anti-LGBTQ, we are not chasing a dime. You want to tell me that case is more important than a highly profile, a high criminal case like this? No. The Chief Justice is being selective. Whatever is happening in that court, she supports it. A Chief Justice who wants the right thing to be done will insist that Yoni Kulendi is dismissed, will insist that the Attorney General's office is cleaned, and that the Attorney General will take an oath to prove to Ghanaians that he's not a criminal. This is a Chief Justice who is seen on TV a week after the tape comes out that Attorney General is negotiating behind the scenes. The Chief Justice is standing outside praising the Attorney General. This is how dangerous our democracy is. Ghanaians, Mamika Bibinchiramu. Where we are at a crossroads. It is dangerous. You might not like me, I get it. Nana Dankwe Kufuor, the NPP, they have destroyed this nation. Now, mo mpenifu amohweme, mo ahemfo, mo mamefo, mo nkwara. Where we are, it is beyond politics. Yeah? We sometimes sit here and say things. And obviously, we cannot all vote for the NDC. And we cannot all belong to one political party. But the honest truth is, the little I've learned and what we have read a little bit and following Ghana politics, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP, this government, they are dangerous. You might be so angry right now with me. You might hate me because maybe I speak against some things in the system you believe I shouldn't. Maybe in your head, you might think I hate your tribe. But I swear to God, you have not seen a democracy go down the drain before. You have not seen the greed of men destroy men before. All these things happening, it is building up. Today, you cannot tell me one institution in Ghana that you can trust. You watching me, you cannot point to one institution that you can trust. And you know, you cannot point to one person in Ghana who today we can say we can rely on. Say ende when you see Ghana, there's nobody. Asofo ahemfo impenifu ani adwene se omodwene Ghana ho, irrespective of who is leading this country, they will be honest. They have not, all of them, majority have become political dogs. Sebio. Where we are as a nation, it is up to us, the young ones, to save this nation. You don't have anywhere else to go. The decision we will take on the 7th of December will determine who you are on this planet. The decision we will take as a nation on the 7th of December, and in the bit decided Obana will show you the future. School now, it will decide. Sa ejumana awoye your life as a Ghanaian. Sa decision I will be taking on the 7th of December. It will decide the rest of your life. Few countries any opportunity to get to this point. Few countries. And let me tell you, those who are more spiritually inclined, but one thing I know, Nyankopon is there for everyone. The people who have been murdered in their respective countries are in Tokwasi. They love God the same way you also love God. Nyame do omo the same way Nyame do. And I can tell you for a fact, because of political decisions, greed, corruption, there were people there who were more spiritually inclined and honest Christians and Muslims than you. Their prayer were more stronger and powerful than you. But because of the decision by a politician, because of the greed by a politician, the good and the bad died. In fact, the good, majority of them died. And I'm saying the good, I'm talking about young men and women, children, women, mothers. Majority of them died. Let me tell you, all these things you are talking about, the reason why when you come to the United States of America and other developed countries, they are always aggressive on their courts, on their judges, on their judiciary, is because the politician is dangerous. The politician can change. The politician is like a chameleon. The politician does not care. A few politicians are reasonable. So the moment we allow the unreasonable ones, we release or we unleash them, that unreasonable politician is not going to destroy only himself or herself. The mistakes of that politician will destroy all of us. That is what you people don't know, majority of you. That is what you people don't know. In 1980, 81, 82, 83, when Ghanaians were moving to Nigeria from 79, we didn't know who belonged to which party and what party. When there was starvation and Ghanaians were trooping into Nigeria, people's political parties were not questioned. Nigerians saw Ghanaians as Omogana. They saw Ghana for say Ghana for. They did not even care whether Oya Awuneni, Oya Kroboni, Oya Santini, Oya Kouni. They saw Ghanaians. If we don't take care, it will happen to us. So much study BBA. We have been a very lucky country. Now, untuminya lucky forever. You cannot be lucky forever. At a point, your luck will run out. It is what you do that will make your luck run out. Also, Obi Bobo, now o defending 90 minutes. Or to be defending 45 minutes first half. Every defensive tackle clean, no penalties. Header, corner. So the next 45 minutes, is the pressure that will come. And then the best force will be a mistake, defensive error. Your friend, a technical mistake. And no, and the end of the luck. But how long can you hold on when the attack, the corruption, the greed, the deliberate suppression of the law, how some people are maiming some people, when pain is in the heart of people, when democracy is twisted, when people are being oppressed on their own land, how do you stop such attacks? At a point, you will not be lucky. We have been lucky till this point. Because you end up Nyankopon chen ekurobia was asase. So I'm telling you, Nyankopon do yen chen obia. We have just been lucky, a favor. From where I sit and the things I know, and how diabolic these people in power are. And young Ghanaians who am in mobile. When I see young people come on my TV or my show, Kevin Oyakwasia, Kevin with Jimmy, I feel bad for them. I feel bad because it hurts me that they don't know. And what you don't know, you don't know. Adia wunim no wunim. And that is what will kill you. Our judiciary is tainted. Let me tell you for a fact. The Tsatsu Tsikata story is not different from the Ato Forson story. We are Ghanaian now. Prepare your mind that this government, this judge, she is ready to jail Ato Forson. Nana Dankwe Kufuor is insisting that is done now. The NDC Ghanaians, you cannot think this is not going to happen. It is. They have tested the system and they've realized you guys are weak. You guys are scared of everything. You guys are not men and women enough to defend your rights. They have touched on every part of this country. They have been able to touch every single part to see how sensitive it is. 2020, they killed 8 people. Nobody spoke. They went to the Volta region. They took about 20 people. They jailed them. They said they wanted to commit a crime, overthrow a government. They came to Ayawaso West Wagon. Brian Champon sat on TV to say, we will kill and we will kill more. A commission was set up. Kufuor threw it away. Soldiers entered parliament to intimidate parliamentarians. I swear to God, they have touched every part. They know you people have nothing in your mouth. Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor is more confident now to do more damage than before. In 2016 to 2020, he wasn't sure. They used the 2016 to 2020 to weigh you people. And now they are convinced. That is why when you ask them, how are you going to win the elections? They don't have a message, but they keep telling you, we have a plan. And that plan is through suppression. When they kill you people, you don't talk. When they strike you people, you don't talk. And it has given them a lot of confidence to do more. Election day, network will drop. People will be shot. Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor and the EC and the court are ready. They don't care. I feel pity for the old people. Make us say, "Omu nyina omada, emi ya o papa bi eni efra, o maami bi ontumi nkomirika, unua ba bi awo foforo, unua bi ebubu ani, obi anas na bi a na adwum kan kakra, ye na to dem, obi da yaresabia, etija."